Does he lecture every Tuesday night? Does he lecture every night?
Okay, everybody. I'm Feeding Master Paul Whitehead here at the World Famous Mechanics Institute Chess Club, and I'm joined by some really luminaries here. Kimberly Abel, Talamantez, the director of the club, and Feeding Master Eade, who is also a former director of the Mechanics Institute Chess Club.
And shamelessly promoting.
And yeah, we're promoting Girls to Grandmasters. And let's see, and some other things along the way. But Abel, what's going on here at the club?
It's a little quieter than usual here at the club.
Right.
So for those that don't know, we canceled the Tuesday night marathon because
Weather.
Because
the weather.
Yeah, the public health concerns.
Right.
Coronavirus. So in the chess club, Nick DeFermian went ahead and did a lecture like as he normally would. We have a few players out there.
He had a guest lecturer too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Jim Eade over here. He gave a little talk, and we have players out there just playing casual chess, and so it's nice that even though we canceled, a few people came down just to play casually.
The chess club's open.
It's open. It's still active, and it was a great weekend or a great week today because we had Kimberly in town from New York, and. Kimberly, nice to have you here. You've had...
Kimberly, what's her last name?
It's a setup. Kimberly Dew.
Kimberly Dew. Okay.
And so you do a lot in chess, especially for women's chess and girls' chess, and you have an organization here, Girls to Grandmasters. Tell us who you are and about the organization.
I started becoming involved in chess because I'm a chess mom. I have 3 kids, and all were pretty active in chess, but the oldest, Karsten McVeigh, is the founder or co-founder of Girls to Grandmasters. She started this in the summer of 2018. So we're still kind of getting off the ground, but our primary goal is to empower girls and women to play more chess, because as is pretty much commonly known, girls tend to drop out of chess, typically around junior high. And so the point of Girls to Grandmasters is to encourage girls to continue to participate in chess.
And you have a lot of events in New York and that draw a huge crowd. Tell us about what's the attendance like at some of the events, and you actually draw a lot of famous people to come support the cause.
Well, our last event was called Blitzen Brunch, and that's something that we try to host maybe 3 or 4 times a year. But as I said, we're just still getting off the ground. Our last Blitzen Brunch was February 22nd, and it takes place at the Chess and Checkers House in New York City, and in Central Park, which is a great venue. And what we do there is we just bring a lot of girls together, and unfortunately there's limited capacity there. But
is it the Chess and Checker Club place?
It's a Chess and Checkers like a house in Central Park.
Right.
So it's kind of a great name.
I have been in
really
it.
Yeah, what we do.
Never heard of it.
It's a nice venue, especially on a wonderful weather day. But we had a little bit of cold weather, but it wasn't too bad on February 22nd. And we had Jennifer Sztaray, women's grandmaster Jennifer Sztaray, who was a special guest.
2 thumbs up.
And we had Rusa Golatiani, women's grandmaster and former U.S. champion, also along with Jennifer, who's a former U.S. champion. And Rusa is is our resident women's grandmaster.
Oh, cool.
On our board.
That is very cool.
And so the girls got together and played Blitz and had something to eat.
They had a lot of food to eat.
Nice.
I invite anybody to visit our website, www.g2gm.org. And we have pictures up there.
Do you think the mechanics should run an event where you feed them too? Do you think that would attract more chess players?
I don't think anybody would turn down free food.
And actually, Kimberly's really good with the free food. She came in with a box of Mrs. Fields cookies.
Should we link with them on our website for our links for their chess? Yeah, I was just thinking about all that.
On the MI site.
On the MI site.
Links, and we'd love to put
Yeah,
Yes.
I haven't looked at the links site, our links link.
I
but
haven't
Yeah.
looked at it either, but yeah, this is the thing, is linking back to each other helps with the search engine.
Right,
operation.
yeah.
So all of our websites will get more hits if we link to each other.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
a good thing to do in
I
the
think
chess
it's
world.
important for us all to support each other.
Yes,
Yeah, and
we're all one family.
and we all learn from each other too, because I know, even especially with a lot of the uncertainty going around with, what other chess organizations are doing in response to everything going. I know, Judith's reached out to some organizers in SoCal and even
Yeah.
talking to you about,
Yeah.
what's going on. And, we kind of learn how we're dealing with it and how to respond. And so, yeah.
But you're seriously getting on an airplane after this
I'm
broadcast?
seriously getting on an airplane.
Wow.
At what time?
She's brave.
I'm taking the red
Quite late.
eye. I actually came out here to visit my mother, but I always love coming out and stopping by the mechanics to see my wonderful chess friends.
Yeah.
And,
It's such a pleasure to have you.
And this is where your daughter started playing chess.
My daughter,
Yeah.
this mechanics has a special place in my heart because my daughter started playing chess here.
Nice.
And so now we get to the
That's
real
how it
reason
works.
that you love coming to the Bay Area. I know 2 particular restaurants that you
Oh.
enjoy. I don't think it's like a big secret to like reveal.
Are we talking food again?
We're talking food. So number 1, I know it's 2. Number 1 would be
I will be honest, admit I love Jack in the Box tacos, 2 for $1.29.
Oh!
it used to be 2 for $99.
Yeah, 2 for $99.
And just a story, I think I've told you about it prior. My mom is a fantastic Mexican authentic cook. She absolutely loves the Jack in the Box.
Is that
what kind of a
right?
testimonial
She
is
loves
that?
it. So like,
Amazing.
I'm taking her to Costco.
Oh,
she'll
man.
ask to, hey, can we stop
I
at
might
Jack
have to
in the-
try one.
I have to tell you, the Jack in the Box in my neighborhood just got closed down for a while for health reasons.
Oh,
So
sorry to hear that.
maybe, yeah, but they reopened.
And so
Coming into the room was Nick DeFermian,
GM.
our resident grandmaster in residence.
And the other big food, which I don't think any of us will have any shame for, is
In and out.
In-N-Out. Because it's not in New York.
I've never
do
been
not have
there.
it in New York City, so
So you're
already-
deprived. Then
Yeah.
you have to have an
It's
In-N-Out
my
fix.
first stop after getting off the airplane at San Francisco Airport is In and Out.
It's in Millbrae, right? That one close.
That's
So
funny.
I
now-
stopped at the one in Mountain View, but
Yeah.
I love them all.
We
That's right.
know all we need to know about Kimberly Do.
That is it. That is
And
it.
I did want, Nick just walked into the room, and I did want to confess to the audience that I do have a losing record against Nick. And
You have a losing record against Grandmaster Nick DeFermian?
What's
I
the
do.
total? The 1-0?
Well, I won't mention it,
In
but
recorded
I have
games.
one loss. Let's put it that way. One loss that I admit to.
And just I want to give a very special shout out to Judit Sztaray, who's kind of running all the technical
She's a wizard.
features of the broadcast. And also, one of the things I love about the club, as I guess it's the season, the pigeons are coming back. So we got the pigeon noises.
They're cooing.
They're cooing, and
Oh,
usually
who isn't? These
or should
days.
be.
We're
During
trapped
the games,
indoors.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to kind of listen to them and you get the San Francisco flavor of the chess club.
So
Yeah.
the Tuesday night marathon with over 100 participants has been canceled, but there are upcoming events, tournaments here. Are we going to be holding some of the
Yeah.
smaller events?
Yeah, so for the moment, we're canceling the tournaments for the next month. So
Wow.
we had actually planned on the 21st to have the Vincent McCambridge Championship.
It's just
Okay.
smart, right?
We just, we decided today to just cancel it so that we have a month to see how everything plays out.
And Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders canceled their rallies.
They did
so,
today,
you know,
yeah.
it's we're just
Amazing.
all showing civic responsibility.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
So the next tournament scheduled is, I believe it's April 4th, but everything is in flux. It's, for now, that's still on. The one thing that we're looking and exploring, and we've been in, just been talking to chess.com, is the possibility of doing online matches for mechanics through chess.com. So we create a tournament where we can create like a Swiss style tournament And that's something we're working on, and over the next few days we're going to be exploring that more. And if we can do that, we'll send a notice to our players that this on Tuesday night, while Tuesday night is kind of open,
How about
maybe
that?
we can do
And
this.
as long as you have arbiters on both ends, then it's pretty well
Yeah, so I think we're
certain that
going
no
to.
one's cheating, which we always worry about.
Would they be rated or unrated or?
Well, I think initially we're going to do just like a test tournament. It wouldn't be
Right.
rated, but
I got you.
the goal is to actually rate them. But it would be a quick rated tournament. So we're actually looking to do like G15 plus 2.
And what about
And now-
I'm all over
arbitration?
that. That's great.
And chess.com actually has an algorithm for fair play.
Nice.
And so if there's any issues of fair play, Judit and I are talking about how we would do that. We would probably require players to play at the club if they wanted to play in the tournament, so that one of us can kind of supervise. So we're kind of feeling out the benefits and the minuses of doing it, but I think it's like a fun, cool option for under the current circumstances to kind of keep the games alive and keep mechanics players connected to each other.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah, and that's one of our concerns is, even though we're kind of halting events for the next month, we don't want to lose momentum that we build, but more importantly, we don't want to lose kind of the camaraderie and the connection we've had with our
It's a
players.
community. It's a community.
And I
chess
think they're
players.
going to come back hungrier than ever.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's no doubt about that.
Everyone has the chess itch they have to scratch.
But we should definitely mention that the club is open. Come
Yeah.
down and play, and the
Casual
classes are
play.
still going on. Nick is having
Nick's done
his class tomorrow, and my class is on Thursday.
Nick,
Could I mention that we have
Take a mic.
our locals here, the our regulars, the some of the regular even lower rated players, but enthusiastic ones here.
Yeah.
And even with all this stuff going on, they love coming to the club. Maybe if you guys even want them to make testimonials about this is a great place to come during the crisis.
Yeah, and actually when I was outside, we were coming in, Jerry Simpkins was outside, and we had informed him because he didn't know that the games are not going to go on. And I think he came in anyway, and he's, playing casual, fun games.
that's what we do.
And that's kind of one of the great things about here is that even though the tournaments are on hold for a month, the club's actually open. So if people still wanted to come
And just wash your
Interact.
hands before and after, you're fine.
yeah. So
Sure.
Repeat again that the whole tournament is cancelled and indefinitely anyway. So when new people are joining, just repeat.
Okay, so I've been given orders to
Yes.
tell everyone that, so just to be very clear about the current Tuesday Night Marathon, we had round 1 last week. We're submitting that one round for rating as if it was its own one game event. We canceled the current tournament, so when we do end up restarting, when we get the okay to do that, it's going to start from the beginning, a whole new event. So, and then we'll make adjustments accordingly. So, like say, in 4 weeks, let's be optimistic. Let's say in 3 weeks we get the okay. We may hold a 3-round event to bridge the gap between the actual start of the next TNM, because all our TNMs are actually scheduled, and there's a lot that goes into it because you have to register the events with FIDE and things of that nature. It's actually not just an easy thing to say, well, we're gonna just change the dates. Yeah, you can't really do that.
Right.
So, so if we start in 2 weeks, and then there's 4 weeks before, we'll just do like a 4-round Swiss. Maybe we'll divide it into make it one open section, or we'll do something fun, bridge the gap till it actually starts, and then do that. And we don't even have to do. We can do a different event every week for those 4 weeks. We can do a blitz on one night. We can do a rapid on the next week, and we can be innovative here and do different things. So
One other
And
question. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Kimberly, you're also on the Women's Committee for the United States Chess Federation?
Yeah,
And-
the U.S. Chess Women's Committee.
The U.S. Chess Women's Committee, okay. And what are your plans as far as the committee is concerned? What's your...
My primary role at this time is basically helping to run the events. I mean, the girls' club rooms, which take place at the
Big
at the
nationals.
big national tournaments.
Oh, yeah,
The elementary nationals, grade nationals,
right,
and also the junior high and the high school nationals.
which are big tournaments
Right.
now.
And they're coming up. We, of course, not sure
Who
exactly
knows?
what's going to happen.
Right, who knows nowadays?
But crossing our fingers.
Right,
But we have, I think the first tournament coming up is Columbus. And then we have, then there'll be all girls nationals sponsored by the Kasparov Chess Foundation.
and what month is
And
that?
that's in April.
April?
And then I think the last weekend, I believe, because we have that holiday weekend there, the last weekend will be Jacksonville, Florida.
Right,
And then in May, Mother's Day weekend will be the elementary nationals. So, a lot going on. That's in Nashville.
yeah, those are
So,
huge tournaments now. When Paul and I first started playing, there was nothing like it. There's nothing
I mean,
like
what's the
it.
attendance for like the Super Nationals?
well, Super Nationals will take place in 2021, and I think we're talking about 5,000.
5,000.
And
Yeah.
that takes
Wow.
place in
Can you
Nashville.
believe that, Paul?
That's like a small city, a small town.
And all the logistics about
Yeah.
taking care of them?
I think I remember reading
Keeping
about
it
tournaments like
safe.
this in Russia, maybe way back in the days, where they would have really large organized
Well, they
events,
would
but
report
not.
them. They would say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Well,
Yeah.
Super Nationals is, combining all of those three tournaments, and takes place at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville, and it's huge. I mean,
And they do that, how many?
Nashville's a good
they do that
city
every 4
too.
years.
4 years.
It's a great city to
Right.
be in.
But it's to the point
heard
where
good
you're
things.
trying to walk through crowds and you're working up a sweat because you're dodging so many people.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a great event, and I always encourage kids. Some of the parents don't like it because there's it's a lot of lot going on. But I encourage all the parents to at least bring their kids one time to see what it's all about.
One of the things that speaking about kids and chess, is one of the things that when I was involved, I used to live in San Francisco and come to the mechanics all the time, but we didn't have so much outreach to kids that you do now. I'm so proud of the Mechanics Institute and what they do with kids. And maybe, Nick, maybe you can tell a little bit about what you're doing as far as outreach. I know Judit is in charge of it now, but you've been involved much
Yes,
more
no,
recently.
Judith runs that now. I
Yes.
did 7 years of that, but now we have Judith, and she's just doing a terrific job. So.
Judith is a master of all trades, there's no question about it, but you did it for 7 years, Nick, and
You like launched kind of
yeah, and
San Francisco Scholastic,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and we're sort of trying to like take what he kind of like started and trying to like kind of keep that going, because there's a lot of demand for Scholastic chess, especially in the city, and we're seeing that through the Scholastic events and tournaments and trying to grow that. So
yeah, the change is just that, not to compare the Super Nationals, like 5,000 players, when Paul and I we could go to a Scholastic event, how many? A couple dozen?
When I
maybe?
got into chess, there was junior high school chess club, high school chess clubs, and there was like a high school championship or
Right.
something like that. But there was no organized chess for kids.
We had
None.
Western Mass and Connecticut Valley High School Championship.
Yeah.
And then go on to the state championship. The winner would go on to the state championship.
Okay.
But there was a guy in Massachusetts, Robert Corrin, who I hope is still with us, who used to run Scholastic events. But we would only be we're talking 20 kids maybe.
Right, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
We the girls' club rooms, which take place at all the major Scholastic nationals, we set it up so the girls kind of have this place to go to bond, and they're supportive of each other. They're meeting girls, their age or different ages from
Right.
all across the country, and
With a
girls
similar
tend to be a little
interest.
more social, if I may
Yeah.
generalize. And so what's nice about them having this girls' club room to go to is that they can have kind of a safe place,
Yes.
or a place that they get to meet other girls,
right.
and so that bonds them together,
Yeah.
and they get excited. In fact, I have to tell the story which took place last year, where a girl apparently was up a rook, at the end of her game, and she actually, I think she either offered a draw or she I think she offered to draw because she wanted to finish the game and come to the girls' club room.
Okay.
So that probably wasn't,
Yeah, yeah,
So that
yeah.
our
She
goal
needs a
really-
little talking to,
Right.
but
But it's just nice. We have some incredible, people that help staff the girls' club room. Jennifer Sztaray is, ahead of the
She's
women's
awesome.
program.
Yeah.
And then Maureen Grimaud,
Yeah,
she's
she's
part
terrific.
of the girls' club room, and we have Kristen Arthur Alton, and they have a chess program in Florida. And they come to these events and they're gung ho and
Yeah.
there are raffles and trivia games and things like that. So the girls really, really enjoy coming to the girls' club room, and we're trying to make it a part of each tournament, each of these national tournaments. So
Great
it's something the
idea.
girls look forward to, and
Yeah.
the parents thank us for
of course they do.
for
Or
encouraging
they
the girls
should.
to play
Yes.
chess.
Well, you make a great experience too.
Yeah, it's all about and building the community. That's what people in the Mechanics Institute are trying to do, is build a community of chess players. They have at least one thing in common, and they come and share that thing. Sometimes friendships blossom and it extends beyond chess. Other times it's just the place to go. You get
Right.
out of the house and go someplace to share an experience with others.
And everyone there, we have that commonality, but the backgrounds could not be more different.
Right.
You have like rich,
Right.
poor,
And it doesn't
social-
matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't help you
Russians-
make your move.
Russians and
To that person.
Mongolians.
Yes, yes.
like everyone, and yeah, it's just a great community because then when they're here, it's very lively. Everyone's connected. It's just an awesome experience.
And we have these girls, now more and more girls tournaments. Sophia Rode,
Yeah.
who is, an icon in the New York City chess community.
Absolutely.
She has organized started to organize the first, the annual New York State Girls Championship.
Right.
And so that's brought a lot of girls together. And I think recently they had 350 or, close, somewhere around that, just girls that came together to play chess. So all that encourages girls, and I think in the end actually, is, I guess, great in promoting boys, boys and girls
Yeah.
playing chess.
Well, Paul, you started playing tournament chess when you were
12.
12.
Here at the Mechanics.
Yeah. And were there a lot of girls your
There were
age?
none.
No.
None, not one
The
that I can
world- Chess
remember.
world has changed dramatically in our lifetimes, Paul's.
Yeah, there was a I remember a young girl, and a lot of older chess players might remember her from the 1970s. Her name was Baraka Shabazz.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's been written
She was
about
very-
by Batgirl maybe, and some other people.
Yeah.
But she's the only girl that I can remember from those
And being
days.
strong, too. She was
Yeah, she was
expert
a
strength or
A
loose
player,
or something.
expert
Yeah,
strength.
yeah.
She no longer plays chess, or I think, and there were also just few kids that played chess in general. I
That's
mean, my
true.
brother and I ran around here. There were only maybe 4 kids in total, including me and my brother.
I
That
played my first tournament game when I was 15, and I was the youngest player at almost every tournament I played
Right.
for quite some time.
right, yeah.
It just wasn't a kid's
I
thing.
I think Kimberly and gonna hang out with Nick a bit before she has to catch her flight. So
Catch up on old
Kimberly,
times.
just want to say thank you for kind of stopping by and joining. We love
You're
all the
a
stuff.
natural.
Yeah, you work for nothing.
Right.
Complete natural.
And-
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Good
It's always
plug.
fun to hang out with my chess friends.
Girls
We're going to
to
put this on
grandmasters.
YouTube, so
Yeah.
you'll be able to.
Girls to grandmasters.
Yeah.
Girls to Grandmasters.
Support it.
And Judit and I will see you in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe in Chicago.
When is that?
maybe
Well, I'm
Chicago.
for them in Chicago.
When in St. Louis? When
It's
are you going?
August for the U.S. Open, but I think Judith's gonna see her at the
All girls.
All Girls
Nationals.
All Girls Nationals. Yeah.
Barring any,
If it's not canceled now.
Unforeseen.
we're keeping our fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
we're all doing that
Last year was
nowadays.
great because there was a Star Wars convention going on at the same time.
Oh,
At-
Geek,
at the
awesome.
geek
venue.
versus geek.
Yeah.
Do they
I
have-
got the best.
do-
I got the best pictures. I'm telling you.
I bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
and we went into snuck
If
into
you
the
were going to go
convention.
as a star character, what would you be? Who would
I don't
you
know
be?
Star Wars well enough. I'd probably
Oh.
do, I'd probably do something where they'd cover me up.
Star
was-
Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Ah.
Sorry.
Is anybody here a Star Trek fan?
I was when I was a
Star
kid.
Wars,
I was a
yeah. Oh,
big
yeah.
Star Trek fan when I
Someone's
was
a
a
Star
kid.
Trek fan.
I was in love with Deanna Troy. I confess it. I was.
That's
she
the
was.
next generation.
That's the Star Trek: The Next
Right.
Generation.
All right, yeah.
So we'll
I had a
see
crush.
how
I was
this
old
term
time.
goes. The All Girls Nationals is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be held
William
out
Shatner.
in the suburbs.
Shatner, Uhura,
Oh yes, I did love it. But
Bones.
And hopefully one of these days you'll be able to make it.
and Spock. We can't forget Spock.
Right.
I can't talk
I haven't
about
seen
Star
any of
Trek
the
without
pictures.
mentioning Spock.
So got to do that.
Ancient
Maybe
stuff.
Super Nationals will have to be your.
Live
your
long
first.
and prosper.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, yeah, I've got to push your way through the crowds at Super Nationals. You know?
Get the elbows going.
Kimberly, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What a pleasure.
I look forward to seeing you.
Thank
I
you.
look forward to
Namaste.
see you guys soon. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Socially
Okay,
conscious
thanks.
contact.
All right.
Maybe when Judit is ready, we can get her in here and we can talk local chess.
She has to change the name from
Yeah.
Kimberly
Just
Dew to
politics.
Judit Sztaray.
Yeah, well, Judith,
Yeah.
I must say, I am so impressed with the work that she does here. I'm also impressed with what Abel does, but
Just a little bit.
yeah, but all the work that goes on to these tournaments that we can just play in and enjoy. There's a lot of effort that goes behind them, and Abel and Judith need to be recognized for that work because these tournaments don't happen by themselves. And speaking as an organizer in the past, there's so many details that you have to make sure happen. And everybody wants their rated games posted quickly. Everybody wants, to be recognized.
I appreciate your knowledge
in
of this.
print. And so, there are always questions that they have to field while they're directing the tournament. And it's just it's a bit of a burden that they bear well.
I just want to say one more thing. Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness.
And maybe are you going to sing your daughter a happy birthday?
Oh,
Happy birthday, Reka.
Happy birthday,
What-
Rick.
Happy birthday, Reka.
Oh,
It's
and she's 16, sweet 16, and she's not at the mechanics?
She was so devastated when I told her.
Oh.
She was in school and I texted her the enemy's canceled, and she was devastated because
Isn't
she
every
planned-
girl's dream to be at
At the
chess?
mechanics?
Yes.
Well,
everyone is-
especially when it's a good company. It always
Oh,
helps.
thank you.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Very
so we are
nice.
missing
Thank you.
you.
We
Yes,
miss her. We miss
you.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has been.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
See you
Bye,
soon.
folks.
See you soon, okay?
Bye,
Bye.
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Come visit us in New York
Yeah.
City.
Oh,
We will.
Hey, like my postings on Instagram, will you?
So back to the organizer, I think you hit right on the spot that I think if we can recommend two things to organizers how to really capture the heart of the chess players is one, post the results, and two, rate the games.
Quick.
And what I've learned from John McComsky, my mentor, who I learned a lot with TDing, is that he never leaves the venue without submitting the tournament. And he just doesn't leave it because once you get home, you start eating, you
distraction.
fall asleep, you
Certainly.
whatever, and it's just not gonna happen. So whenever I can, I always try to submit a tournament on site, which always helps.
That's very professional. You learn from a good guy.
Yeah, he's very.
And I just can't emphasize enough how much of activity that you're doing here. You're touching all the bases of kids, lectures. You can come and learn, sit there and watch someone else. You can come and play, and there's all sorts of opportunities. There are chess books if you want to study, borrow a chess book. You can do that. There's nothing that the Mechanics Institute cannot provide for you through chess.
And we just had someone that I was talking to in the hallway, about a half hour before we started here, and they live in New York, and I guess they come here often for business, and they said, we always want to see the Mechanics Institute, so they stop by. And they're asked about membership, and I started talking to them about the institute itself, that it's a membership library, and you need to go check it out. And they're asking about the club, and they're just it's like they can't believe kind of the services we offer, because their initial interest was the chess. Then they found out that it's library, so I
Right.
encouraged them to go to the lobby, get a pass to explore the second and third floor. And I was talking about the events. We have author events. We have Cinema Lit Friday nights. Our events director Laura, she does shows movies. She does popcorn. I love my popcorn. And it's just fascinated. And it's like even me telling it, when I tell it, I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty cool place. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot here to offer, and it's just
Yeah,
kind
the
of an honor to
library
be a
is
part of it.
underutilized resource as far as I'm concerned. I know that when I started to work at Charles Schwab back in the 80s, I would come to the mechanics library just to study. They had the materials that I could study to do research on various investment opportunities. And this was just something that I did like instead of lunch. And it was something that not very many people knew that they could take advantage of, even though I lived only a block away. I worked only a block away. So
Also, we have a fantastic chess library down in
Yes.
as part of our collection here. It's supposed to be the largest chess library west of the Mississippi, according
And
to.
it's probably the
Wow.
second largest in the country.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think only Cleveland.
Wow.
James White.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's we're
not the
talking
same, yeah.
accessible to the public. There's probably some private libraries that
Oh, I'm
are
sure. Yes.
pretty significant, but anyway, an
That's
incredible
still
resource for
incredible
anybody
resource.
to joining the institute. It's
Yes.
and wanting to study chess.
So Judit, what's going on in CalChess? So Judit, for those that don't know, she's a member of the CalChess board.
I didn't
Director?
even I didn't
She
know
has
that.
more
You didn't
hats.
know that?
I didn't know that.
She
I
has more
know you
hats
used
than
to
I do.
You
be.
used to do it.
You
and
used
I
to be, but-
jumped off that train.
I did used to do it too.
okay.
You used to do it too?
Yes, I
Okay.
was
Did you
president of
jump off the
CalChess.
train also?
Oh yes.
I never used to do it.
No, Paul, that's not your cup
That's why
of
you're a little
tea.
more saner than the rest of us. So just like my experience on the CalChess board was,
Mixed.
yeah, it was mixed at best. So the CalChess board basically is an organization that when you look at it from the outside, you're thinking, all right, this is the Northern California affiliate organization for the U.S. Chess Federation.
Mm-hmm.
And here's an opportunity as that representative to maybe do things in the community, try to organize members and keep them informed and engaged of what's going on. But really what the organization is people just voting who gets what tournament. And it's been like that for several years.
They used to have a magazine or
California
a
Chess
paper.
Journal.
Yeah,
California Chess Journal. He
going
used to
back.
be the editor and publisher.
Yeah, that
Was
was
that
a
right?
yeah, and Chess Voice before that,
Chess
and
Voice,
yeah,
Richard Proper, and
so
before him,
there's-
someone else, I can't remember the name.
yeah,
but-
John Larkins.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it goes. There used to be
Still
that
actually
anyway.
shows up on the Google search if I search for something regarding these tournaments, and these journals are very important. I think we lost perspective how important
Yeah.
it is for our
To the
They were-
historical.
They were fantastic. I mean,
I
they
agree.
were like next to Chess Life. They were where we got news.
Actually, you could argue that people here, that was the source of the local chess scene. I mean,
It's true.
I used to
It's
get
true.
the-
There were flyers inside in the middle of the magazine for upcoming tournaments.
So
And I was-
let's talk about like reality.
Oh, no, go
Reality.
ahead.
Reality, right? Because that was the 60s, 70s, 80s. You
90s.
printed the magazine, and that's how you got informed because internet was nowhere. And now printing a magazine would not necessarily make sense
Financially.
because financially, distribution-wise, and
Yeah.
just people. Unfortunately, the printed magazine,
And not just in chess, everything.
not just in chess.
Yeah.
So how can we revive the magazine with the current situation, right? Online magazine would be the obvious choice, right?
Well, shouldn't the mechanics have a newsletter or something?
Well, Mechanics does have a newsletter.
Oh, it does?
Really?
Yeah, but it's not a chess
I
newsletter.
think I gotta add him to the email list.
It's not a
Shot at
chess.
me.
I think he knows.
I got to add them to the list. But just to address that question, my opinion is that the mechanics newsletter should stay more about kind of mechanics news.
Absolutely.
And stuff that we do and things that are a part of our community, not even necessarily like mechanics, but like this community, rather than writing things about, other organizations and other areas of Northern California.
That's CalChess's job.
Yeah, that's CalChess.
Yeah.
CalChess's
And
job.
one of the things when you don't do it often, you think, oh, that's such a big job, it's not worth it, or you don't seem to have the energy to take on. Seeing Abel and the team putting together this newsletter every week, I mean, it's a job, but it's an everyday job.
Oh
And
yeah, I agree.
We spend a good couple of hours putting together. Abel puts together all of our, Paul writes his article, I write my part.
Nick does his.
And Nick does
yeah.
his. Everyone
Yeah.
sends it to Abel. Abel put it up. He writes his part too, and it's done on Friday or maybe a little bit earlier. Gets through the approval process and done. So I think we are making a lot bigger deal about a possible CalChess online magazine
why could
than
it?
it's
Yeah.
why it should. So I'm actually at the point now where I was just saying, let's try it. Let's give it a try.
It's a great idea.
And just start it. Even if it's not going to be perfect, we send out the information of a possible online magazine. Request every organizer to send in reports of their tournaments, because this is really about it, right?
You're talking CalChess.
CalChess magazines should be a report on what's happening around the area. And
I would say it's like fundamental to its purpose.
Can I ask?
and it's actually in the bylaws. So
You can't get more fundamental.
Can I ask it's maybe a tricky question? Is there any conflict of interest being a member of the CalChess board and the Mechanics Institute?
Actually, I'd be more than happy to
I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot.
No, I'm
Put me
actually,
on the spot.
I'm actually glad you
I'm-
opened that, because I feel
Yeah,
very
me too.
strongly about this.
Okay, cool.
One
All right.
of the reasons I left, there are a few reasons I left the CalChess board, but
Mhm.
one of the things, and I even wrote about it in the newsletter, that saying that I was
Right.
going to resign and this is why, is that the CalChess board is mostly filled with people that are organizers of events that have like a vested interest in
Who gets what
who
tournament?
gets what tournament, right? And it's so then when people are voting for like bids,
Right.
it's like all the organizers that bid on it, they have to excuse themselves. So really, there's only like a handful of people voting on who gets what tournament, and even some of those people that are voting it are employed by the organizers. So it's just a joke, in my opinion.
Well, you can generalize that to include
But-
the United States Chess Federation. Much of that goes on there too.
Yeah.
This is a fact of the volunteer organizations that help to govern chess. And I'm currently writing an article about chess governance. But the idea of conflict of interest, I'd say rather than state it as a conflict of interest, you have dual loyalties. And dual loyalties means you are loyal to more than one organization. I'm a life member of the United States Chess Federation. I'm a big supporter of the Mechanics Institute. Do I have a conflict of interest? No. I want the best for both worlds. And this can be done, and it doesn't have to be dissolved into the petty arguments that it sometimes does. It can be, we're all in this together trying to grow the pie so everybody's slice is bigger.
Well, that does not happen in CalChess, in my opinion. So I left that organization, and actually, in the last election, we had some new members that weren't organizers that could, I thought, bring some fresh perspective. And I think,
well, let me
Yeah,
speak
let you-
about that.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was really happy to see Ashik Usman on the board.
Who plays here?
Who plays here? He's a chess dad. He's an active chess player, and so the two of us took on the clearinghouse responsibilities with a clear division of I'm taking everyone. Most of the organizers, and he's taking two of the organizers,
And-
which I would have conflict of interest
Yes.
with.
and the clearinghouse is the
The clearinghouse, which is really mostly, I like to say it more
Calendar?
like the community calendar. So clearinghouse used to be committee that would resolve conflicting events within the same area, within
Right.
the Bay Area or Northern California.
Which is very important.
Now, unfortunately or fortunately, there are so many chess players in the area that really even events 30 miles apart are not conflict anymore. Right? Used to be conflict because there
There is only so many players.
But now, even if Berkeley has a tournament and we have a tournament, we are perfectly fine each other running tournaments because we have we have a vastly different group of attracting players. Right?
I think that's good. It sounds healthy.
Yeah,
It sounds
so
healthy.
We try to avoid conflict as much as possible.
Right.
But sometimes you
So
just
the
can't do it.
college's board actually voted on guidelines, clear guidelines, how
This is an important step.
how the events should be, and obviously the clearinghouse doesn't have too much power of preventing even having conflicting events, but the main idea is to list as many events on the calendar so that people get informed, because people eventually, new players would find Culchess and they want to find out about tournaments, and
Where
we
can I
want
play?
everyone's event.
It-
So we also are reaching out to other organizations who haven't been posting their events to please start posting it. So Novato, for example, let's plug them in a little bit this weekend if you're okay with that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Novato Chess Club is a new chess club, very new. I think being an affiliate of US Chess for only about a year,
Uh-huh.
and they are putting together their first tournament.
Great.
Greg
Right,
Phillips. It will be this Saturday, and so if you want to play somewhere that's
Any Marin County guys?
Marin
out
County
there?
and not infected and nothing,
Yeah.
I think he's still planning on holding that event, and so his event is on the calendar, and I was really happy that he reached out.
If somebody calls me here at the Mechanics Institute or asks me, where can I live far away from the club, San Francisco,
A lot.
and I'll always say, go to calchess.org and look
you
and
do?
find
Look for them.
I'll say
I don't know.
I'll say
Well, I don't know that
I'll
you're
say
referring to-
is why we have these
I
little
say you
discussions.
can find a list of chess clubs
Yeah.
and places to
Right,
play outside of, because they'll say I live in blah 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 and I want to know where I can play nearby or
And
something
I can
like
speak
that.
to when a clearinghouse works and when it doesn't, because as Judit pointed out, you don't have any enforcement power. But there are times when people have flexibility in scheduling their tournaments, and they would schedule it on the same weekend because they didn't know the other one was having it. And the function of the clearinghouse when it's working optimally is to let these organizers know that someone else is thinking about the same date, and can you adjust yours? If not, can they adjust theirs? And if they can, then it's a win-win.
Didn't we have
and
something
we-
in November?
Yeah, and we had a issue where we had just scheduled tournaments, and then Berkeley Chess reached out and said, we have a tournament on that date. Is there any way we can make
And
something
actually,
work?
it was Ashik who pointed that out.
Yeah,
So because of Ashik's help.
Yeah,
You guys connected.
Elizabeth reached out, and then we made a switch, and then we actually had another where it was like a rapid tournament that we were doing, and they were going to do it like in the same week. And then I reached out to Berkeley and I said, we're going to have the rapid this week. Would you be able to do another week? And then they switched it. So
That's the way it's supposed
yeah,
to
so
work.
like everything worked out great in that scenario, and ideally that's what you want to do, because it hurts
Yeah.
both if we're
Yeah.
both doing it on the same.
Yeah.
If it's the
You
same
know,
format too, especially.
And we want to aspire to that, because we're human beings, we don't always reach our goals, but, that's the idea behind it, is you want to be cooperating and helping everybody else be successful, not competing.
Also, you want to know if you're going to hold a tournament, whether there is a tournament somewhere else being held on
It'll-
that day.
it'll
And
affect your
and if
entries.
there's no place to find that out, then
Exactly.
so
No, I think Calchess plays an essential role in doing just that.
I really love that idea about Calchess having a paper, even if it's just a an electronic online
Oh,
with
that's the only
articles
way. I
and
think
stuff
it's the
like
only
that.
way.
It's
There's
really
so much
great.
chess. I mean, there's so many chess organizations. There's Shoreview and Weibel, and there's Mission San Jose. They do their own stuff, and the Kingsland Chess, and there's just so many organizations, Berkeley and us,
Right.
that.
Sorry, Abel, I'm sorry to cut you off. The thing is, what Judith was saying about the newsletter, it takes a lot of work to do this. It's the same thing with the Cal Chess. I have burned out so many editors. I can't count the number of people who have said, oh, I'll do it, and 2-3 issues later, they're done. It's a problem that we don't have a solution for.
And actually, when I was on the Cal Chess board, they put an ask to see if people wanted to be the editor and bid it. Like, what would it take to do it? And we just couldn't afford what people were asking to do it. But like as you said, like the way we do it here at Mechanics, our newsletter, it's content rich, but the thing is that we each have our own part. So Paul has his own part, Nick has his own part, Judah has I have my own
Columns. It's sort of like having a column in a newspaper.
And I mean, the organizers of all the different chess programs, they have to do their part. If they submit something to the Cal Chess
That makes
editor,
perfect sense.
right? And then the Cal Chess editor just edits, right, and makes modifications if necessary. This is the way we can get the Northern California chess scene going using optimal time, right? Because it's too hard for one person to do it.
I agree.
And there could just even be a template where everybody just slots their information in, and
Sort of how the newsletter. We
that's
have
kind of how a
Paul's
newsletter works.
column, Nick's column.
Right, yeah. So it could work that way, in that way, even almost without a central editor. As long as the Mechanics Institute gets page 1, I'm good with that.
Yeah. That's not too much to ask.
Well, we have our insider.
Yeah,
Right,
and I do think you do need, like Abel performs this function for the Mechanics newsletter. There has to be someone who coordinates all of this material. And that does not have to be the person who provides the content. So you need additional content providers and a person to set it up and lay it out so that it can be easily read.
Exactly. Do you want to come on board, Jim?
Recruit.
So you'll be.
We're all on board anyway.
I will be happy to contribute.
Yeah, and then the Eade Foundation is here.
Yeah,
You just
it's
have to link
interesting.
back
It's
to my,
interesting. It's interesting stuff.
eadefoundation.org.
Ideas.
Yeah.
But it's a great idea, interesting idea, and started here at Mechanics talking about it.
Yeah, no.
But so just the one thing I'll say just for my piece, like I would love to see just more people informed about Cal Chess, more people that are non-organizers looking to run. And shoot, I might even start a drive here of getting people informed about Cal Chess and urging them to run, because I think we need to have, there's too many organizers, in my opinion, on the Cal Chess board making opinions that they have a vested interest in.
Right, that makes
Decisions that they
sense
have
to
a vested
me.
interest in.
That makes sense to me.
And I say that, present company included, right? And I was even saying this even when I was on the board, right? It's like, I was on the board because like there was no one else running, basically, because people were not even aware that
Who wants to do
what
that?
was
Yeah.
Cal Chess, or
Right.
and I think if we raise awareness and get regular players that just love chess and want to make a change and have fresh new ideas, because fresh new ideas are in very high demand on the Cal Chess board, I think that would be fantastic.
And as a former president of Cal Chess, I've been on the executive board of the United States Chess Federation and on the FIDE's executive board as well. And I say these problems are common to all of these organizations, because you have people that have vested interests, and there are also others volunteering their time. They think they want to have what they say should be done because they're volunteers. And this is a problem that transcends chess.
It's like a human nature
Yes,
problem.
it goes on throughout all volunteer organizations have this. Ego conflicts and these types of things. And the one thing that I keep harping on in all the organizations that I've been involved is we all have one goal, and that is to promote chess. So all of us want more people playing chess. And that is your primary function, and if you keep that in mind, the rest of the stuff is easier to solve. And
They're
that's
here.
Amen to that.
Yeah, here.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'm just going to remind that I think we're finishing in about 5 minutes,
Okay.
at least
Yeah.
our allotted time. We could go over.
Yes.
So
This is going to
Let's
be,
repeat it.
unless there's more stuff
Obviously,
to.
Any new life
this is an abridged broadcast because the Tuesday night marathon was canceled because of the public health concerns regarding.
And
the
this was going to
coronavirus.
be in the name of, it was
Ted and Ruby,
Ted and Ruby Udikovsky,
chess organizers.
chess organizer
in the Monterey area.
Chess Club.
Yes, I played in many of his tournaments.
Is that
They
right?
were
Yeah.
always well run.
Yeah.
They were very, very well run, and he was a big part of my playing chess when I moved to California, because there weren't that many Mechanics Institute was solid. It was always there, and there were a few organizers. Jim Hurt in his Lyra
Lyra.
tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Lyra tournaments were something you could count on.
Yeah,
You know,
for
and,
sure.
Ted was one of those
Every
things in Monterey.
And the Monterey Chess Club was, I believe, 1966 to like 2003. I think it was.
Wow, that's a long-running chess
Yeah,
club.
long- And then Lyra, I grew up on the Lyra tournaments.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Jim
Yeah,
Hurt
me
and
too.
Jim, So I
Me
I
too.
knew Jim when I was a kid. And then
We
another-
may have to have a Jim
I want to
Hurt
see a picture of
Tuesday
you
night.
when you were a kid.
we had a Jim Hurt.
We did. Oh, good.
It
Good.
was a one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago, and we had like
53
players
53.
all of a sudden. It
Yeah, yeah.
was very,
Big
very
success.
Oh,
And
sorry,
then,
I missed
uh,
it. I don't get the newsletters. so-
Couple, yes.
Let's add him
Yeah,
to
Judit, can you please add him to the newsletter? So she's taking care of it right
You
now.
saw the article that I wrote about you. The
I did.
interview.
You
Well,
showed
that
it
was
to
in the
me.
newsletter.
Yes,
Oh, but I
you,
showed
you
you.
showed it to me.
You should be subscribed. You should definitely be subscribed.
Oh, I do, but I get it sent to my old AOL address.
Ah,
So
okay.
since I've been in Comcast for so many years now,
Okay.
I don't check the AOL account.
Okay.
And then, did you know Francisco Sierra?
Yes, I played in the San Jose
Yeah,
tournament.
it was San Jose State.
Yeah.
He used to organize
Yeah,
it.
that's the state.
And then the organizers that were sort of like grandparents to me because they were the head of this organization when I first started chess and basically grew up with them on chess is from the Colty Chess Club in Campbell. It was Fred and Pat Mates.
Oh yes, Fred Mace was a great guy.
I remember-
They
I think
were
I remember
a
them.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just fantastic people.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
funny thing
they
is
really were.
like for me personally, because they meant so much to me, I actually don't see a whole lot about them, like written, like. And I've
That's
always
a
wondered
good thought.
why, because like
That's a
even
very
if I
good
look
thought.
on Chess Triad, I
There's
find
mention
very,
of them, though. There must be.
I find very little, and just even online trying to find something.
Did they direct a lot of tournaments?
It was
maybe?
mostly restricted to Colty Chess Club. but
Right.
They did it for
The
several
Colty Chess
years.
Club is still running,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
I mean, that was back in the day, and it's one of those things where back in the day before the internet, these guys are sometimes forgotten.
Where did they run tournaments?
Campbell.
See, I don't think I ever played there.
Francisco Sierra, I wanted to mention once, is the only time I've ever played a Whitehead in a USCF rated game
In that tournament?
in one of his tournaments.
It was a Jay Whitehead?
It was. It was Jay Whitehead.
I used to see Jay Whitehead all the time.
Is that right?
At tournaments, yeah. The ones in San Jose.
You're not curious as to the result?
Well, I was going to get around to it. What was the
It
result?
was a draw.
Congratulations.
But your brother
One game?
played on King and Rook versus King and Rook.
Did he
Played on-
really?
He did
That
not.
sounds like my brother.
And
Yeah, it's not for 50 moves.
no, but I think one time I banged the rook hard, and he said, "Oh, okay," and agreed to the draw.
My brother, yeah, he was from the Walter Brown School of Chess. You know, played with the last, yeah, he
I
was
played Walter Brown.
aggressive.
And our games went on and on and on, and I never even nicked him for a draw.
Right, yeah.
But they were always 7-hour games because
Huh.
he would never. He would just be grinding.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
minimal advantage.
Sure.
And he would just grind and grind and grind.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I always lost.
Very fierce competitors. My brother for sure.
And then one thing before we end up signing off pretty soon, for those that just tuned in, so we're not holding the Tuesday night marathon. We canceled it, because of the public health concerns. The one game that was played last week, we're going to submit that for rating. It's free rated game for everyone that played. And then when we do end up resuming, we're going to pick up the marathon's normal schedule. So if we resume in 3 weeks, that would mean there's 3 more weeks left in the tournament. We'll probably do 3 weeks of some kind of tournament chess on Tuesday nights, and then we'll pick up when the next marathon's supposed to start.
Are we going to have a little broadcast next Tuesday as well, just to keep our
I think so.
finger in
No,
the
I think
pie?
next week we are actually planning on have a pilot event on chess.com.
That's right.
So
Okay.
Mechanics Institute has a chess.com club section on chess.com. So I'm gonna email out everyone who would like to try it out. It's gonna be fun. It's not gonna be USCF rated. We're just gonna try it out and see how it goes.
Just try new things.
Everyone,
Yeah.
So everyone will need to sign up for chess.com if they
I
already
need to get a
don't
glass
have
of water.
if they don't already have an account, and they have to go to Mechanics Institute Chess Club, be a part of that, and we will advertise the tournament there. They can
I'm fine.
online on
A little
chess.com.
And we'll probably also do-
sore throat
And
there.
it's completely free, but it's also not going to be rated.
Oh, it's
and
very
just-
cool. Very good step.
And we are trusting chess.com's fair play
Their engines will check for
engine
cheating.
and report. And then let's see how it goes. And if this goes well next week, then we'll
I used to play
regroup and see what we
chess
can
on
do next.
online, and then one day my wife came home and said,
He
"What was
was.
your day like?" And I realized I had played 1,000 blitz games, or bullet games, bullet games.
yeah.
Yes. So, and I quit cold turkey.
I was out in the street yesterday. I was gonna go to lunch, and then I had stopped and at a stoplight, and I said, I was a little impatient, and I said, I'm just gonna play a bullet game, and I was kind of like engrossed in the game, and then all of a sudden Jen was leaving for lunch too. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm playing bullet, and it's bullet chess is just one of those things. I mean, it takes 2 minutes at the most, and there's a lot of things.
games.
There's a lot of moments where you can get in a quick bullet in, and I play pretty frequently. Actually, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, well,
It's addictive.
it was
So back
addictive
to
for me.
Paul's note, I don't know if we're gonna do online or broadcast or a live chat because we don't know yet.
We
right?
only have one technical person.
Yeah,
And
so we'll see. We'll
But we may end up
We may
tune
end
in,
up,
and then
yeah.
you can comment on the games or kind of chat about
Actually, we
that.
could,
We'll
actually.
see.
yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
could do
Okay.
that, yeah.
But
We don't know, and here's the thing about like us here. We have these ideas. The truth of the matter is, tune in next Tuesday because we actually don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to do something to try to entertain everyone, and we're going to make it fun, and so that's motivation enough that you should check out what we're doing.
And there'll always be a Mechanics Institute Chess Club.
Well,
That's
it's been
The oldest chess club in the United States.
It's been here 160 plus years. I'm sure we're living on through this and through everything else.
If we
That's
don't
right.
survive this virus, the mechanics will.
So
You might be seeing someone besides Paul and me doing the broadcast, but hopefully
No, we'll be
we're going to
here.
be washing our hands
We'll be
frequently,
here.
and we'll be here.
We'll be here.
So thank you everyone for tuning in tonight for some chess talk. We talked to Kimberly.
Chess
too.
talk.
Yeah.
We got
Kimberly was a great ad.
yeah.
It's always good to see
It's
her.
awesome. She always stop by and on a pretty hectic schedule actually.
Yeah.
Did she get you to sign her copy of
Yes.
Chess for Dummies?
Yes.
Oh, I wish I had seen that.
Yes.
She had
She was excited.
a copy of Chess for Dummies, and
And I signed it to her and Girls to Grandmasters.
Nice plug.
nice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't tell if if you
There it
can
is.
see this.
You
but-
can see.
There it
There's a little delay there.
So for Jim Eade, for Paul Whitehead, Judit Sztaray,
Abel
Talamantez.
Talamantez.
All right, we're signing off, and we will see you next Tuesday. We don't know what we're doing, but it'll be fun and it'll be exciting.
All right. Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.